What's up, guys? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. If you want to get caught up on any of the books I'm reading, you can do so down below in the description. I'll have links to some of those books and a discount code for you to use. Let's kick it off with Conan the Barbarian issue number 33. Jim Zub, of course, is on this one. This one's actually starting a new arc for us called The Cursed Shores. We actually have Valeria and the Red Brotherhood teaming up with Conan. They're at sea right now, just trying to figure out where their next destination is, do the life at sea whole bit. But of course, we have some evil forces showing up and challenging not only Conan, but his entire crew at the same time. This book takes its time introducing us to the characters and understanding the relationship between all of them. Then we have this evil threat that's thrown in towards the third act of the book, and it's going to start heading us in the direction for the rest of the series. It does seem like another occult-style villain that we're going to be facing here very soon. There's some curses, there's some monsters, something like that we're going to be up against, and we get a hint as to how messed up this whole thing is towards the end of the book. This book is also at that $4.99 price point, but it's 32 pages. We're kicking off a brand new arc. It has top-tier writing and coloring and art. You really can't go wrong with anything Conan right now, and if you like Conan dipping into the supernatural, into the occult, we're going to be heading in that direction with this run. Next up is Concrete Stars Over Sand issue number 2. Paul Chadwick on this one from Dark Horse Comics. Even from a Concrete perspective, this story is a little bit out there. Concrete is going through a lot of changes right now. Him, Larry, Maureen, they're on this little road trip right now with this baby Concrete, and Concrete's trying to finish one of his speeches. He gets lost in the desert. He gets actually struck by lightning, which disorients him. It kind of resets his whole metabolism. Everything about him kind of resets. His memory goes away. He doesn't quite know who he is. He doesn't recognize his own body, doesn't know where he is or who his friends are, so he's wandering alone in the desert landscape. Of course, Maureen's trying to hunt him down. They have a very complex relationship that they explore in other runs. It does sound like Concrete is going to be going back to nature, becoming more in tune with who he is, what he is as a being. He's really seeing the world again for the first time, seeing the beauty and everything, seeing the violence in nature itself. And so it's kind of cool to see this character's perspective on the world, because it's like a brand new being seeing it for the first time. So it does have that poetic nature that we come to know and love from Concrete himself. But again, the story's a little bit different because of the mindset that he's in. The artwork and everything is fantastic. It's everything you've come to know from Paul Chadwick over the years, from the different runs and different mini events that he's spun up. And it's just another fantastic addition to this series. Loving issue number 2. Let me know if you guys are reading it. All right, next up is Geiger issue number 24. Of course, we have Jeff Johns and Gary Frank on this one. This issue has 2 different threads going on right now. We have Dr. Molotov talking to the nuclear Nite. They're going over how the world became what it is, a little bit about their past on both sides. So those 2 characters are connecting as they're trying to hunt down Geiger and Junkyard Joe. But we also have Joe's creator called the Custodian, and he's got this grand master plan and this reason why he wants Junkyard Joe specifically to join his army. Now, Joe is not the only robot in this guy's army. He has a whole legion of robots that he's created, but something about Joe is different than the others, and he's trying to tap into that difference and maybe implement that across the board. Now, Junkyard Joe does have some plot armor in this issue, and it's on full display as we see Joe taking on legions of mimics of his own self, and we get some other characters being thrown in as well, including Geiger thrown into the battle. So it will be cool to see the continuation of the fight that we have here and what the outcome will be of all this. I hope Joe is not a character they kill off in this run, because he's a fan favorite of mine. I think the universe is that much richer with him in it. All right, next up is Ted Okay issue number 6 from Mad Cave Studios. We have Dave Chisholm on this one. I'm not going to talk about this from an issue 6 point of view necessarily, but as a entire story. But I will say that the entire package, the design, the aesthetic, the color palettes, the perspective, the artistic ability that this guy has is absolutely phenomenal on every single issue. It will blow you away from not only the storytelling, but also from just the panel work and the compositions and everything. It's a really great artistic package. From a story point of view, there's also something extremely special about this run in its entirety. There's a lot of secrets that are unlocked issue to issue. You learn a lot of stuff. You experience a lot of things through the eyes of the different characters. You have a lot of questions going from issue to issue, but you have a lot of answers too. But it's not an extremely straightforward story. There's lots of twists and turns and surprises he scatters across the issues, even through issue number 6, that you just didn't see coming, and it enhances the overall story that much more. I really hope people pick up the collected edition of this if they haven't been reading the single issues, because that's going to be a really interesting experience. Just blasting through this issue to issue, you don't have to wait that month to get the next one and connect all those dots. You get to experience this from start to finish in one sitting. I envy those people. Next up from Dark Horse is Only the Savage Are Left issue number 2. We have Zach Kaplan on this one. We also have Stefano Raffaele on the art, which is really phenomenal in here. The coloring is really nice too. We have Haas on the letters, which is fantastic. Now this book feels like another post-apocalyptic, kind of like a zombie, kind of like a Last of Us type of a story. So thematically, it feels like something like that. Now there are some unique nuances in the characters and just like how this virus or this plague, whatever it might be, how it actually works. And so we're still understanding a little bit of that through the characters' perspectives here. This is also a coming of age story of sorts. We have this young guy who's trying to take on more responsibility, trying to be more brave, trying to maybe adapt or not adapt into the world around him. So that's kind of an interesting journey to explore. But eventually stuff's going to hit the fan and this guy's going to have to do things that he is not comfortable doing at this moment. And that's really the struggle inside this issue. How far is he willing to go to live and save other people? Now, I haven't been exactly rooting for our hero just yet because of the journey that they're still on and the fact that they haven't quite adapted to the world around them. But at least we have some character development and some places the character can go from here still. Next up from Mad Cave is The Dirt Beneath the Devil issue number 1. It's Panosian time. He's writing this one though. Now this story takes place on the American frontier. It basically follows the dying wishes of a man who has a family way too big than it should be. He's planted his seed all over the place and everyone's coming together to see what they are owed. But it's not that easy. They have to follow specific tasks and actually journey to this other place to understand what's going on. Really, it's a story about a bunch of people that never met before meeting for the first time. And of course, this cast is going to be very diverse, and we're going to have to overcome all of that since it is set in a time period where those differences might not be appreciated. I actually found myself bored reading this issue. Like the differences between our characters and the little backstories that we know and the conversations that each one of them had didn't really do much for me. There was a cliffhanger at the end, but it was so abrupt and so ambiguous. I didn't really have time to figure out what exactly was going on or what are the consequences of it. I thought the artwork was okay. It did a good job with the characters and the landscape and the design, and the aesthetic and architecture of the time period, but it didn't really move me there either. I guess all that to say, I think I'm one and done for this one now. If I see a lot of people reading this book and it turns out to be something spectacular, I might go back and get the trade. Next up is the Horror of Godzilla issue number 1. We have Griffin and Sheridan on this one, and we have Jones on the art. Now, I'm at a place right now where whenever Parker and Sheridan are collaborating on the writing duties for a book, I'm going to be picking up at least issue number 1 to check it out because so far they're batting 1,000. Now, I'm not too familiar with Tristan Jones on the art point of view, but I gotta say it has some really great haunting moments inside of here. We have some great Godzilla shots, great landscape shots, character designs, things like that. Even the coloring is on point here. And the coloring is really important because we have a lot of greens and reds and whatever else, right? And so that stuff really needs to pop, and it certainly does in here. It's really a recreation of the Godzilla story. We have these scientists that were trying to unlock this new power source that they thought they discovered in the Earth. They inadvertently wake up Godzilla, and now it's ravaging the entire world. And they're kind of on trial at this moment. These scientists are being asked questions as to how this happened and how they can stop it. So the whole story is spliced with that conversation in like a courtroom setting and what Godzilla is actually doing to these different towns. But this story is all about the horror of Godzilla, and so we do get a lot of those really gnarly shots. Godzilla's wiping out entire cities. He's chasing people down. People are trying to escape, and we switch our perspective to them as they're doing so, and it's really a horror story. So I'm in after one issue. I love this creative team. I really like what they did with the artwork and everything. I'm invested in this one. Let me know if you guys read it. Next up is the Patron issue number 1. We have Christian Ward on this one, John Pearson doing the art and the coloring inside, and we have Haas in the letters. The story is really about a bunch of artists who haven't hit it big yet. They've been sinking all their time, money, and energy, even their relationships, into this craft, and they haven't been able to break through just yet. Now, they have very supportive partners. They're trying to encourage them the best that they can, always trying to get to that next step, but it's really hard to do so. Until a mysterious man comes along and basically offers them the world. We can take everything you have, we can sell it for 10 times more than you've been trying to sell it for. I'm gonna make you big, I'm gonna make you famous, I'm gonna make you a star. It's kind of that devil contract. But of course, nobody reads the fine print, and tragedy strikes, spiking up the prices of the artwork, but killing the creators at the same time. The horror element was one-sided for the majority of this book until the cliffhanger at the end. Then you realize how complex and complicated this story is really going to get. It's not a story that I would typically gravitate towards. I'm probably one and done on this one, but it's got a great creative team, and if you're into horror-type books, you might want to check it out. All right, then lastly, we're going to wrap things up over in Marvel with the Queen in Black issue number 1, Al Ewing on this one. So I've been really enjoying what Null has been up to, even back in the day when Johnny Cates was doing them with the King in Black. Now we have the Queen in Black, written by Al Ewing, who's also doing the Null series at the same time. I might be hate reading this story because there are certain things that I love about the Null series, and there's certain things that I just cannot stand. Kind of like Hela's perspective on the entire thing. She's purposefully letting Null amass this power. He's absorbed the light right now, so he's still the god of the void, but he has all the power of the bright within inside of him as well, which makes him super dangerous. He doesn't have his void symbiotic power necessarily, but he's found a way to change that power into creating light symbiotes now. Now, inevitably, the King in Light and the Queen in Black are going to go head to head, but Earth is in the way for both of them. They both have their eyes on Earth. They're both going to be attacking. Hela does so first, and so the Earth's mightiest heroes have to respond to that initial threat. And they all think it's Null. They think it's the second coming of Null since the Donny Cates run, so they're trying to implement lessons learned from the first battle, not so successfully because this is Hela behind the wheel now. And they have no idea where Null is. And the really funny thing is, and the thing I forgot was, pretty much everyone's memory was wiped of what Asgard is. And so we have Beta Ray Bill joining the team, trying to educate people as to who Hela is, which I thought was pretty funny, and I forgot that little detail. So our heroes have to team up and take on Hela's forces, and we have Null coming down with some unknown powers at the moment. It's going to be a hell of a ride. This is really my guilty pleasure. I can't help it. It's also one of the very few Marvel books I actually read, so I'm going to be checking this one out in the future. All right, guys, that's what I read this week. Let's go over to League of Comic Geeks now and see what's coming out next week. All right, guys, let's hop over to League of Comic Geeks. We're going to go to New Comics, and we're going to change the date to August 5th. We're also going to turn off the variants over here, and we're going to click this. We're going to go through and see what I'm interested in. We have Batman number 12. Man, I cannot wait to see what Verity has in store for us with this issue. We have Absolute Superman issue number 22, which feels kind of surprising. I felt like we already had an Absolute Superman book just a couple of weeks ago. I'm not entirely sure. Not a whole lot else that I'm picking up across the top row. We have the Queen in Black issue number 2. Again, it feels kind of odd because we just had another one. We have the Dead Man issue number 2. I'm really enjoying this one, but I could see how longtime Dead Man fans might not be vibing with this one. As we go down, we have Supergirl issue number 3. Hey, we have Parker and Sheridan stepping up again. I loved issue number 2 and number 1. I cannot wait for issue number 3. I'm not reading anything else across this row here. And as we go down, I don't think I'm reading anything on this row either. This might be a very short week. I'll probably pick up a copy of the Ghost Machine official handbook issue number 5 just to stack that one away. I read 100 Bullets number 1. I didn't really like it. I might read issue number 2. That'll be a game time call. Let's keep going down the list here. Nothing on this row. We have Smart Division issue number 1. I'll be checking that book out from Kaplan and team. And then as we go down, I'm grabbing these Murder Drone issues. I wonder if number 6 is the last one. It might be. So we're going to be grabbing that one and reading it with my daughter. And I think that might be it. It's a very, very short week, which I'll take because I got plenty on the backlog to get caught up on. All right, guys, that's what I read, and that's what I'm looking forward to next week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you're picking up and what your favorite books of the week were. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the comments.